Ahem. That was a thing. Hello everyone and welcome back to Harvest Moon Wonderful Life Special Edition. This is Showboat, and today... well, the first thing was that event that I just showed. That was a thing. That was an event with Daryl, and it actually served to introduce us to a character that we will be seeing on occasion in winter, as a matter of fact. There are actually several events with Daryl and Muku Muku. He will attempt no less than 3 times to attract Muku Muku and capture it, and will fail all 3 times. So that's the thing. It's 9 o'clock now. I went ahead and skipped to this hour so that we can go to sleep and get up at a fairly okay hour in the morning. Oh, it's gonna be one of these days. Fine. Be that way, game. Be that way. So, I guess I'm technically still sick. This is being recorded actually rather late at night. Not really night. 7:30 p.m., I guess, is what you consider evening, night, whatever. One of these has not finished yet. I am sad. What is with you? What is with ye? I do not know. So yeah, I'm still technically sick. I took the vast majority of the... Oh, right. Is it impregnation time? Ha, that'll have to wait until I get home. Sure. So at around 1, noon or 1, we will be able to impregnate our cow. Cool. Well, it'll just be magically impregnated. That's why it's called the miracle potion, because it's a miracle. It's a miracle. And essentially all he does is he brings in another bowl, and then they perform a miracle, and yeah, then our cow's pregnant. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, so yeah, technically I am still sick. This is being recorded on Thursday, the 15th of October, something like that. You know? Something or other like that. Blah. I took most of the day off today. I went in for the, 8 a.m. class, with, a shot of Dayquil in me, and, yeah, I ultimately decided not to stay to do, lab work for the rest of the day, or do my office hours. It was not very nice earlier today. Yesterday was worse. Yesterday was horrible, because I didn't even buy any Dayquil or NyQuil or stuff like that until late in the evening. Right now, fortunately enough, I have regained my ability to somewhat concentrate. That's been the biggest issue I've had with this cold, is the sinus congestion and pressure has caused me to not be able to concentrate at all. It's like my head has been in the clouds for basically the last 3 days. Fortunately, that's finally starting to clear up. I should also note, today I also had 2 very important packages arrive. Actually, I had 3 packages arrive, but the third one's not quite as important as the other 2. So I have upgraded my desktop. Oh yeah. I have upgraded my desktop. You know, the magnificent machine that it already was is now somewhat better. Yes, it's somewhat better. I upgraded it to the top of the line Intel i7 5960X. I think that's the correct numbers. I think those are the correct numbers. 5960X, the $1,000 processor, is now in my machine, as well as 32 gigabytes of memory. Yes, 32 gigabytes of memory, up from 16. I doubled my memory, and I didn't do it by buying a second 16 gigabyte kit. I completely replaced the kit that was in there with a set of 4 8 gigabyte sticks to make 32. Theoretically, one would probably ask, why don't I also have the 16 in there to have even more? That's because they're completely different brands. They run at different timings. They are basically incompatible with each other. If I put more RAM in, I would have to buy another set of what I just bought, and what I just bought is like $200. It was actually relatively cheap. It was more than 200. It's more like 250. But point being, I would need to spend that again to get to 64 gigabytes. I noticed that there exist these 16 gigabyte RAM sticks now. Yeah, I am unsure of my motherboard's compatibility with 16 gigabyte sticks of DDR4 memory in kits of 64 gigabytes and with 4 sticks. It's like, what? You mean to tell me I can have 128 gigs in a system nowadays of RAM? I do video editing. I don't even need that. I mean, yeah, there people run RAM disks and such, but could probably use all that much. But I don't. I don't do that. Maybe if I had a few thousand more dollars to blow that I wasn't saving for, you know, a car and to learn how to drive and stuff like that, maybe I would consider doing that. But no, I need to actually. I say I need to save money, but I totes just spent like $1,200, $1,300, more like. So yeah, my day today, while sick, mind you, has been spent putting those parts into my computer. The RAM was the easy part. Just take out the old sticks, put in the new sticks, done deal. By the way, they are Corsair Vengeance 2666 megahertz RAM sticks. It's the same frequency as the old sticks, just slightly slower timings. So the timings are a little bit higher. Higher equals slower. That's more like, it means a higher gap between responses in terms of time. And yeah, I mean, the difference would not be noticeable effectively, and it's twice as much memory as I had in 4-stick form factor, which will not have as great of an impact on the overclock of my CPU, which, by the way, is 4.5 gigahertz at 1.3 volts. That is my processor's overclock now. This is a higher frequency than the processor I was using before. I was using the intro grade X99 processor, the 5830K or something like that. I forgot. Or 5820K, 5820, I think. 20 or 30, I forget. It's like sitting in my closet now, but that one I could only really get up to 3.8 gigahertz. It did not overclock well at all, and it did not like playing well with my old set of memory. As for what prompted my desire to do upgrades, well, I sort of got a bump on my Amazon store cards credit line. That was basically what prompted it. What prompted it was that I was playing Kerbal Space Program, and I did the 64-bit hack thing for Kerbal Space Program, which means I could run as many mods as I want, so I ran as many mods as I want. And, yeah, 15 gigabytes of RAM usage by running everything that I wanted to, try out in Kerbal Space Program. All of the mods. All of them. Every single thing. Every single thing. It was like 15 gigabytes, and I only have 16 in the system, so it's like, oh. Yeah, miracle potion, yeah, whatever. Come to the barn. Don't worry. We us don't have to actually see what's going on. Ew, that's a normal bull. Ahem. Moo. It's over. Yep, whatever. Which means I need to pay attention to what ends up being produced. I would rather have a female star cow, so you bet your bums I'm going to be doing a bit of trickery in terms of saving and reloading when the time comes. I'm gonna go inside because we've got cooking to do. I already cooked one of the turnips, but I do want to cook the others. Now, the reason why I save is because the bedroom is very glitchy, and yeah, it can crash the game just being in this room for too long. What? Yes, finish saving. Just being in this room for too long can cause crashes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it should only take like 2 more times cooking in order to unlock hors d'oeuvres. So after making this light pickle, if my math was right, it seems to be more of an average type of thing, so I don't think we got it. Oh, we got it! Yes. Oh, entree. Cool. Entree. I want an entree of snelt. Give me snelt. Entree. Sashimi. Sashimi. It's worth more than the cost of the snelt. This takes time. I want to... Wait, what? Oh. I didn't pick entree, did I? There we go. We'll make the 2. Yeah, thing. I see. Sashimi! Cool. We're gonna leave before we crash. So yeah, I needed more memory, and that's what prompted me to be like, hey, Amazon Star Card, would you be willing to like up my limit a little bit? I can totes pay off the whole thing whenever I want. It's just yeah. I wanted it on the card rather than paying it all now. And they upped my limit by an amazing amount, and I was like, oh, well, there's this CPU I've been wanting to get for a long time. I probably should have gotten it in the first place, but yeah. So that's a thing. That was my day. Perhaps I should also mention that there is this little complication when installing a new processor in my system, in that see, my processor's water cooled, so I had to drain the loop and put in fresh water. It needed the fresh water anyway. I even replaced one of the hoses because it was misbehaving when I was unhooking it. It's like, oh, I wasn't actually hooked up to begin with. I like latched on the bleh. I've already forgotten the name of the part. My goodness, the the thing that hooks up the tube to the part. The thing that hooks the tube to the part. What the freaking hell is the name? I'll think of it eventually. This happens from time to time. I guess it's fishing time right now. I guess it's time for fishing. Fishing! Cool. So yeah. Point being, it wasn't connected properly. Even though it wasn't leaking, it still wasn't connected properly. So I gave it a new segment of hose, so that it had a little bit more room to maneuver and actually form a real seal this time around. So that was interesting. That's what takes most of the time. It took about 3 to 4 hours to do. Yeah, people who actually do this kind of thing will be complaining. It's like, how the hell did you get all of the air out of the system after about 4 hours? Guys, you don't need to run a system overnight, the water cooling overnight, to get the air out. You don't even need to get all of the air out initially, because it's just gonna work all of the kinks out anyway. over time as you use the system. You just need to get all of the really big air pockets out, and as long as you get the big pockets of air out, it's good. It'll be fine, and it's running fine. I gave it a really good shakedown, so I know everything. All of the connectors are tight. So I know everything is working just fine. Everything seems to be stable thus far. The actual system doesn't make use of a lot of the memory. It basically is plus 16 gigabytes compared to what I had before. It doesn't do anything to, like, make extra use out of what I put in there, which is fine because Kerbal Space Program's gonna use it. As is my video editing. So, that does remind me. This video will be the first that, oh, it's A quality. Yeah, it's probably because she's, dirty. Hi. Do you want a... Oh, I don't... Oh, cool. Do you want a light pickle? Alright, you're in animation. Hey, buddy, could you... get out of that animation? Thank you so much. So yeah, this will be the first one rendered with my 8-core processor with 16 threads, up from 6 cores and 12 threads, running at a higher frequency than the previous one as well, up to 4.5 gigahertz from 3.8. Yes, it should be good. I should see about a 25 to 30% speed boost to rendering times and such. Oh, and the thing can make more use of memory, but whatever. It should still be about 25 to 30% faster than previously, at best. At best. We're not talking about a night and day sort of a difference here. I'm in that stage where any upgrades to my system cost a lot and deliver relatively small gains. The only time now that I can even think of to do any major upgrades will be in 5 years minimum. 5 years minimum before, well, let's just say the next time they come out with an E line of processors, when they come out with the new $1,000 processor, will not be the time that I plan on upgrading. It will be the next time that they release an E processor. So in 2 cycles of E processors would I be interested in upgrading my CPU. If there's any huge advances in memory technology, then maybe. Otherwise, the only real upgrades I could do to my system would be my SSDs, I guess. My motherboard, I don't have a motherboard that is the absolute best on the market, per se. But I mean, it's still okay. I can actually, now that I have the better processor, I can quite easily put an M.2 SSD in there, it would of course be at the cost of a couple of my hard drive ports, which would be annoying. But that's just the way the motherboard's built. It's like you can either use M.2 or you can use these 3 or like 4 SATA ports. It's like, okay, fine. Half tempted just to build a new system out of spare parts at this point and stick in like my archive hard drives. Because you have to think right now, for spare parts, I already have a processor, memory that's compatible with that processor. I have a spare power supply. I have 2 spare graphics cards, which they're my old GTX 760s that are connected in a water cooling. Like, they've got water blocks on them and are connected to each other for SLI, so... Oh, this is going to be a Shark if I manage to catch it. Oops. So, what I would need would be basic water cooling for the processor, a reservoir pump, a little bit more tubing. I still haven't remembered the name of the... Fittings! That's the name! Fittings. A few more fittings. Actually, I have a lot of fittings. I probably wouldn't need any additional ones, but maybe. Which that would be the most expensive part. I would also need a case to put it all in. So like motherboard, hard drive, at least one, and case and water cooling stuff. And that would be a brand new system. Unfortunately, cost for all that would be in the like $500 range. It'd be like a server type of deal. I don't really know at this point. Anyway, I've waxed completely lyrical about all of the computer stuff in this episode, and we did basically the same thing we do every day. And now that it's the end of the day, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been Showboat, and I will see you all next time, where we will finish off autumn. It'll be the last day of autumn. Soon enough, Lumina will be at 4 red hearts, well, 4 pink hearts, more like, and we'll be able to propose after doing our heart event. It'll be glorious. I will see you all then.